Have you ever gotten a full 8 hours of sleep, but woken up feeling completely drained? Or have you ever stared at a simple one-line email for what feels like hours, physically unable to type a response? If you felt that, you're not alone. We live in a world that glorifies being busy, a world where exhaustion is almost worn like a badge of honor, and perfection is the ultimate prize we're all chasing. But what if I told you that some of these so-called normal habits are actually a secret language? A language your own mind is using, trying to talk to you, trying to tell you something important. And that's exactly why we're here today. In this video, we're not going to be using complicated terms to label or diagnose. Instead, we're going on a journey of discovery together. So let's decode 5 silent signals you might have been unintentionally missing. Society often labels it with very simple tags, doesn't it? You're just lazy, or, oh, you need to learn better time management. These pieces of advice sound reasonable, but they often overlook a much deeper story. But let's pause for a moment and dig deeper together. Is it really just laziness? Or is it actually a state that psychologists call analysis paralysis? Imagine this, that procrastination isn't a lack of discipline, but a silent battle rooted in extreme fear. The fear of failing. The fear of being judged by others. The fear that the effort you pour in will never be good enough. And our brain, in an incredible effort to protect us from those potential harms, has activated a surprisingly sophisticated defense mechanism, doing nothing at all. Because if you never start, you will never fail. This perfectly explains why a passionate freelancer can stare at a dream project for hours on end, but ultimately stand up and go clean the house. See, that's not laziness. It's a signal, a cry for help from fear. And recognizing it is the first step to freeing yourself from the burden of self-blame. The second signal we will explore today relates to our energy, but not the energy to work, rather the energy to connect. You've probably heard or even said to yourself something like this. Host tilts head in a familiar tone. Oh, I'm just an introvert. Or, lately, I'm not in the mood, I just want to be alone. And I want to make one thing clear. Being an introvert and needing your own space to recharge is completely wonderful and healthy. It's how you take care of yourself. But there's a subtle difference here, a boundary that sometimes we unintentionally cross. It's when needing to be alone gradually turns into continuously isolating yourself. Loving the quiet is one thing, but continuously canceling plans with your loved ones, feeling drained even at the thought of having to communicate, is an entirely different story. Think about it like this. Sometimes your social battery is drained not because you don't like people. It's because your brain is secretly running an extremely heavy background process. Those are the internal worries, the endless streams of thoughts. It's using nearly all its energy just to keep the system from collapsing, and as a result, it doesn't have a single ounce of strength left for connecting with the outside world. That's exactly why you might feel incredibly excited when you accept an invitation to dinner on Monday. Pauses for a beat. But by Friday, the very thought of leaving the house, of having to put on the social mask, makes you feel as heavy as if you're carrying a boulder. Once again, this isn't a flaw in your character. This is a signal. It shows that your mental energy is being allocated to an invisible battle. And listening to that signal is an act of kindness to yourself. Our third signal is perhaps the most cleverly disguised of all, because society not only accepts it but often praises it. Think about perfectionism. We often hear things like, wow, you really have high standards, or you're a perfectionist, that's admirable. And in a competitive world, striving to be excellent is a powerful motivator. It's a compliment, right? But there is an incredibly thin line between striving for excellence and being imprisoned by perfection. Let's lift the curtain on that. When you spend 3 hours just editing an Instagram post because you're afraid one angle of the photo isn't perfect. When you rewrite a work email 10 times because you're worried that a misplaced comma will ruin your entire career. Then it's no longer about high standards. It's anxiety wearing the cloak of work ethic. It's the story of the student who has met all the requirements of the essay but doesn't dare to submit it because there's always a whispering voice in their head saying, "It's not good enough. You can do better." And ultimately, perfect becomes the enemy of done. The truth is, this trap isn't built by external criticisms but by the invisible prison we create ourselves out of fear. Realizing that done and good enough is sometimes a much braver act than chasing a perfection that never exists is the key to finding your freedom. So far, we've talked about the battles in the mind. Now, let's move on to the fourth signal, one that we can sometimes feel tangibly, the minor glitches of the body. I'm talking about persistent headaches, mysterious stomach aches, or unexplained muscle pains. And when they appear, what's our first reaction? We look for a rational, tangible explanation. It must be because I slept in the wrong position. Maybe I'm allergic to something. Or probably because I overworked yesterday. Those explanations could be entirely correct. But pauses for a beat. What if they aren't the whole story? What if our body is trying to talk to us? This is when the exploration becomes truly fascinating. There is a profound truth that our body records what the mind cannot put into words. Stress, sadness, and anxiety don't just exist in invisible thoughts. They live in our muscles, in our digestive system, in every cell of our being. So, try to look at these minor glitches in a different way. Don't see them as enemies. See them as the check engine light on your car's dashboard. It doesn't mean the car is completely broken. It's just a gentle reminder, a signal that something under the hood needs attention, something that isn't immediately visible to the naked eye. That check engine light can explain why someone feels perfectly healthy all week but then suffers from severe stomach pain every Sunday morning, right before a new, stressful workweek begins. It's not a random coincidence. It's the body speaking up. Your body is much smarter than you think. It's a faithful messenger. The question isn't how to silence that signal, but are you willing to listen to the message it's sending? And the final signal in our exploration today is something both familiar and mysterious: sleep. We all have familiar explanations for it. Host smiles lightly, "It was just a restless night." Or, "Who doesn't love sleeping in on weekends?" And yes, those moments are completely normal. But we're going to talk about a pattern, an extreme. It's when sleep is no longer a place for you to rest but becomes a place for you to escape, or a place you can't reach at all. This is the sleep paradox. Think of sleep as a mirror directly reflecting your mental health. And the paradox lies right here. When faced with difficulties, the mind can react in two completely opposite ways. On one hand, it seeks sleep as an escape from reality. You might sleep 10, 11, or even 12 hours a day, not because you're physically tired, but because subconsciously you want to fast forward through the stressful, anxious hours of the day. On the other hand, the mind cannot shut down. You lie in bed, eyes tightly closed, but inside your head is a marathon race of thoughts. Tasks to do, past conversations, future scenarios. You crave rest, but your brain refuses. Imagine two people, an artist facing a deadline, choosing to sleep all day to avoid the blank page, and a manager, after a stressful day of meetings, staying awake until 3 a.m. because their mind keeps replaying every word, every decision. One escapes into sleep, the other is denied sleep. On the surface, they seem completely opposite, but the root of both is the same: an overworked nervous system, a soul calling for peace. So, the next time you struggle with your sleep, instead of getting angry, try being curious. Ask yourself, what is sleep trying to tell me about the life I'm waking up to each day? We've just gone through 5 signals together. And perhaps right now, as you recognize yourself in one, or even several of them, you're feeling a bit heavy-hearted, a little anxious. But I want you to look at that feeling differently. It's actually a good thing. A very good thing. It doesn't mean you're broken or weak. It just means that after a long time, you're finally starting to listen. Remember, procrastination, fatigue, or that stomachache. They are not weaknesses in your character. They are compasses, loyal messengers. They are simply showing us where on the map of our soul needs the most attention, where it craves compassion and understanding. So, what is the first step in navigating that compass? It's not self-criticism. It's not asking, why am I like this? The first and most important step is curiosity. It's the ability to pause, take a deep breath, and gently ask yourself this powerful question. What are my body and mind really trying to tell me? So, how do we start listening? How do we decode these messages? The good news is, it doesn't have to be something grand. It can start very simply. It can begin with you taking a notebook and writing down, "Today I feel," and allowing yourself to write whatever comes next without any judgment. Or it can be the power of connection. Be brave and share these feelings with a friend you truly trust. You'll be amazed at how speaking them out loud can lighten their weight. And perhaps the most powerful tool, always with you, is compassion. The next time you start criticizing yourself, pause for a second and ask, "Would I say these words to my best friend?" Learn to talk to yourself with that same kindness. And finally, something incredibly important. If you feel overwhelmed, if these signals are becoming too loud, seeking help from a therapist or a mental health professional, that is one of the most powerful and courageous actions you can take for yourself. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. In the US, wonderful resources like NAMI.org or the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline are always ready to listen and support you. Don't hesitate. The journey of understanding yourself is truly a lifelong adventure. There is no final finish line, only new discoveries each day. And by patiently learning the unique language of your own mind, we are not just surviving through the days, but we are truly learning how to thrive. Thank you so much for walking with me on this part of the discovery journey today. If our conversation today has touched you in some way, if it has helped you feel understood even just a little, please consider hitting the like button so this message can reach more people who need to hear it. And if you want to continue joining us on upcoming discovery journeys, please subscribe to the channel. It would be wonderful to have you here with us. And now, the part 1 look forward to the most, hearing from you. In your own journey, have you noticed any signals your mind is sending you? Please share your story kindly and respectfully in the comments below. Let's make this a safe space together, where everyone is heard and understood. Because always remember, you are not alone. You are not alone at all. Thank you once again. See you in the next video.